Hey everybody, welcome to episode 128 of the Arcade Hunters podcast. We're going to be trying something a little different this time. Usually we do a monthly podcast, but every now and then we might throw in what we're going to call a news roundup if something big in the world of arcade gaming or pinball happens, or if there's any new updates or game releases where we can just kind of talk about it there and then allow more room in the regular episodes to do more topics. Because we still got to do our Hamster Arcade Archives topic. And to my left, I think, I always forget which direction I'm facing. To my left.
I'm more the west of you.
No, the direction I'm facing. To my left is Nick.
Oh, hey, everybody. Oh, my God. So our hand was kind of played with this one because I was saying to Gerard, obviously, we found out last week that the rumors were true that Stern was making a John Wick pinball machine. And all the floodgates started opening up, and out of nowhere, I get a text from Gerard like, dude, we got to talk about this. This is friggin' crazy. So the name of this title is This is Exhausting. Hopefully you like I'm very surprised that nobody used the sad Keanu meme, yet I really wanted to get the photo from the John Wick movie where he's like beaten and bloodied and he's looking at his phone, he's looking at the video of his wife before she died and stuff like that, but I couldn't find that, so I figured we'll go with the more popular one. So yeah, we're going to talk of the new John Wick game and a couple of other things that Gerard had going up there in New Hampshire.
Yep, so just want to start right off. I'm going to apologize to our people who listen to us on iTunes. Apple has been horrible with uploading the podcast. The last episode, it took almost like a week to upload on iTunes. So what we're going to be doing, like I did last week, it's going to get updated immediately to YouTube and iTunes, and whichever one hits first, we'll throw on our social media to promote. And then when the iTunes one comes out, we'll edit that piece so it has all the places to find it. Mm-hmm. And of course, you can always listen to us on our website. That's always the first one. That and YouTube will be the first one for now. iTunes used to have like a less than 5-hour, 2-hour turnaround. Now it's like going on. Sometimes it's 5 hours, sometimes it's 1 hour, sometimes it's a week.
I guess because we're not big people, so we can't do the podcast and have the hot news right away, I guess.
No, it's because they changed their format, and so now you can log. I forgot what they call it, but they created a thing specifically for podcasts, and it's connected to. You can create subscriptions and all that garbage, and so there's 2 ways to upload it. Ours is still set up through an RSS feed, and I don't want to monkey with it yet until I have some time, because you can monkey with it and lose everything. And that's why I've been talking to Nick about possibly moving the podcast and all the episodes from the archive.org, because that ship is going to sink at some point.
Unfortunately, because they're a great resource of a lot of stuff over there.
Yep, and they keep getting dragged into court, so it's a shame. So we're going to shift everything to a different platform. And there's
Archive.org has a whole thing of just the old LCD games from Tiger and stuff like that. People have emulated that. You can play those on Archive.org. It's really cool stuff.
Oh, I know. It's insane what they have. Scans of old Nintendo Power issues. Lots of great stuff. Stuff that Nintendo's never going to release a collection of old Nintendo Power episodes digitally.
Yep. So
the only way to get it is to buy some old smelly ranked copies off of eBay, because you're not going to find them anymore at church sales or yard sales like we used to. And then you have to have a space for that, or you can go to archive.org and download and read them and everything.
Very nice. So, Gerard, tell us about what's going on out there in New Hampshire with the pinball scene. It's been going crazy.
Yes, so season 31 of the New England Pinball League just started this past week. I went Thursday. I play at the Pinball Outpost located in Fun Spot. It was the 1-year anniversary. We had a decent crowd, and Dave has added even more games to the Pinball Outpost. I know Nick keeps getting on my case about you got to take a good video of it and put it on YouTube. The problem is every time I record a video, I go, a new game gets put there or gets announced. And it's like, well, crap, now it's outdated.
Well, how do you think I felt when I went to friggin', what is it, Galloping Ghost? By the time I had the video up, he already had 3 brand new games. So just do it. Just say, this is what it was as of, whatever. Just, that's what you got to do.
Well, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go early next Thursday, then do a walkthrough video and upload it that weekend, not wait a week, and say this is what the lineup is as of blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
and then
that's I do the same thing when I used to do it for the guys over at the Little Shop. I was like, this is the lineup as of this date. It doesn't have to be like, you're not going to go in there and tell the guy, hey, don't put anything new in, because they're...
Yeah, and what I'm probably going to do is I'll probably stitch them all together and release one to show like the growth over time.
Yep.
But yeah, so fun time. I actually came in second place. I know it's only the first week for
that'll get you some whoppers
for our location, but holy crap! And the only reason we came in second, I came in second place, was the lineup was all older, like 80s games.
Mm-hmm.
So we played Gorgar, Xenon, Cyclone, and there's one more game, and that was the first game, and that's what I did bad on. But it was crazy. So I'm better at those games than the modern Stern. So there was no Mandalorian, which I'm awful at, Bond, which I'm awful at. None of those games. So it was like, and I was able to play and do well and able to get second place, which is insane for me. Because Dave was actually in my group playing, and Zach, who also, he's the main person that kind of set up the league stuff or helps run the league stuff for Fun Spot. And they're both very good players, and usually they like quadruple or more my score, and I'm beating them, which is crazy. But
I've been hearing a lot of folks online say that Fun Spot went from a place that you tell people not to play pinball, and now because of Dave taking over, it's become the place pretty much up there to play pinball. I remember like talking to our good... once again, I feel like every episode, sorry, Craig, if you ever listen to this, but remember like a couple of times Craig would be like, man, he's like, no, I don't even want to go to Fun Spot. They have better games over at the
pier,
at the pier and the Half Moon and the Penny arcade. And I was just like, hey, he's kind of right. I mean, they had like Twilight Zone and stuff like that, but now it's just like, yeah, it's not even close. I don't even think those places could even keep up. I remember playing their Attack from Mars, thinking how minty fresh it was because they didn't align the ramps right, so every time you shot the ramp, the ball got stuck. Instead of the guy fixing it, he just opened it up, moved the ball, and went and walked away.
Guess what?
I was like, dude, all you gotta do is just fix it with a screwdriver, dude.
14, 15 years later, the ball still gets stuck in the right out lane. Nothing was ever repaired.
Nope.
Every season I go, I play the game once, the ball gets stuck, I walk away.
Yeah.
They do the same thing, move the glass, unstuck the ball, put the glass back, let the game run.
And he looked like he was so proud of himself. Like, I fixed it. I was like, dude, it's a simple thing to do. You just gotta like realign it. Come on.
And what's awesome about Fun Spot, Dave gets the premium games. He doesn't get the pros. And so far, with most of the newer Sterns in the games that he's picked up, the premium's the way to go. So he has the premium jaws, and he still has it in the fake shark cage with the shark projection behind it, projecting sharks swimming around and fish swimming around, which is awesome. Has the premium Bond, premium Mandalorian, premium Ninja Turtles, and they added some new games since last time. They got a nice, very minty Twilight Zone.
Ooh.
Yeah, and they have Meteor, and they did, I believe...
2.0.
Yeah. So, which is a blast. The sounds make it so much more fun to play, as well as the code and everything. It's now one of my favorite games to play there. The only problem is the volume is so loud it drowns out everything else. But then
they had it. The one that we had over at the Little Shop, it was like hooked up to like a sound pill kind of thing, like a Beats by Dre. So you had to turn the machine on, then you had to sync the audio with it. It was very weird.
This is connected to 2 computer speakers that are red on top of the back box. Mm-hmm. So almost kind of blends in with the back box. But now they also have some games from Port City Pinball there on location. They have Venom Premium, Stranger Things Pro, and there are a couple of and Fishtails. Yeah. So I was playing those, and it's a blast.
How big was it?
And the best part is the tavern, the bar. You walk through the back door of the bar, which is in the bowling alley area, and that goes right to the pinball machines. And Dave has been doing an excellent job with a very fine craft beer selection.
Where was this man when I was going there? Jesus Christ.
And he updates it. They started adding pinball games to the bar, more pinball games, like Harlem Globetrotters and a couple other Gottlieb games.
Pretty much the stuff that they used to have upstairs. They're bringing them downstairs now.
Yep, but now Sarah is working for them, helping them fix machines. So she's upstairs helping Gary with some of the older pinball games and bringing them up to snuff. Like I think they just finished. They're just about to finish Black Hole, and it's like a complete overhaul. Mm-hmm. They managed to get like I think it's a original unused playfield.
Nice.
Something like that, but very insane. So definitely worth checking out. New England Pinball League is a blast if you're in the New England area. The other big New Hampshire-ish update I have is the Southern New Hampshire Pinball Club has kind of expanded with their games. They have a whole bunch new games. They fixed a ton of their games, and they're doing a lot more tournaments, fundraisers, and everything. So definitely keep an eye on that. I'll put it on some of our social media stuff. But like I spent most of today playing Iron Maiden, the pro version, and I'm completely obsessed with the game. I finally got to sit down and spend some time with it and hear it, not play it in a barcade, and get the flow and understand and know how to play it and love it. I also played a Rush Premium, and that's nice.
Love me some Rush. That's why I'm looking forward to John Wick, because it's Tim Sexton on the code. So this is his next game after doing Rush.
And they had a Disco Fever.
Yep.
With the music mod, so it plays disco music, and it has like almost like radio call outs, record scratches, and stuff like that. Like worked well into the game. And there's a button on the front that says "Disco Sucks," and when you flick it, it switches over to like 70s classic rock.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Music playing. So and it's got the banana flippers and everything.
Yep. We love those banana flippers. You pretty much need the banana flippers on that game, because if everybody knows, with Disco Fever, it was designed. I don't think I've gotten to play a working Disco Fever. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, but I don't think the machine worked at the time when I saw it.
And the other thing I played for the first time, finally got to play, is the original Gottlieb Spider-Man game.
Nice.
And that game... Oh, you go.
You go first, because I'll tell you why you won't ever see that in a tournament.
I kind of think I know why. I love it. I find it fun. There's a couple shots and multipliers that if you hit it, your score jumps up drastically. Makes it like I was just farting around and I got either 3 million or 300,000, whatever the scoring is, and that's all the way to the end of the score block. So I'm like, this might be a pretty easy game to roll over.
Yeah, it is, because I remember watching some of the old Papa videos, and pretty much I forget what the lanes are. The lanes are like add bonus and stuff like that. So basically you get the ball under control, and all you do is just alley pass back and forth So you roll over the lanes and roll over the lanes, and you just maximize everything, and then you pretty much don't shoot for anything else. That's all you do.
Yeah.
And I remember them laughing. Like, you can hear the people laughing in the background in the video, and the guy's like, this is how you're supposed to play it. So, Gerard, I think we should get on to the real meat and potatoes of this. Are you ready to go?
Oh.
Because I am, because we've been holding back on this. I've been wanting to talk about this because, oh my God, like I said, like the title, this is
one final news bite. Quick, and this is a quick one. Who I can't believe I forgot. Is it Pendretti? Pendretti. They released a teaser for their Funhouse remake.
Yep. And like we said, it's a teaser.
Yep.
They haven't announced prices. They haven't said, is it going to have the pinball, the Funhouse 2.0 on it?
I hope it does, because that would be awesome to have both in one. And supposedly they completely reworked or redid Rudy's head so it'll break less. Sounds cool. There's so much speculation online. It's ridiculous. People talking about like $14,000-$15,000 for it. Crazy stuff all over the place. People claiming to have leaks. And it's like, let's just wait until it's announced.
You go.
I was just going to say, some people are questioning, why are you dropping the teaser around the same time as Stern is doing John Wick? And
because they all want to steal everybody else's thunder.
Yeah, and
it's called marketing 101 right there.
Yeah, and my mentality is, okay, I'm going to watch both.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to miss one over the other.
What's the funniest thing about the Funhouse trailer is that, you know, they just show basic close-ups of everything, and then there's like one final shot of the game, and it's very dim. But in the background, they show off some other Williams Bally games. So you got Twilight Zone, Doctor Who, Tales from the Arabian Nights. It looks like Elvira's Scared Stiff and Creature from the Black Lagoon. So everybody's saying, oh my God, is that a teaser for, are those going to be next? I'm going to save my money. So I was like, that wasn't a good idea. They should have just had a black background, just focus on the game.
And there's been rumors about Creature from the Black Lagoon, I believe.
Yes.
But and I'd imagine, I'd almost wonder if that's something like Chicago Gaming, because didn't they do the Monster Bash remake, which has the creature? So they've dealt with Universal and licensing and everything. So we'll see.
Yep. You know, same thing like Doctor Who. You're going to have to go through a whole bowl of wax with the licensing, getting all the characters, because in this game that we're going to talk about, they didn't get all the characters either. Because I've seen all the 4 of the movies. Unfortunately, Gerard has not seen the movie, so I'll try to fill in some stuff with the movies as we get to it.
And I will be watching the movies after watching the stream. I'm like, yeah, I got to just finally sit down and watch these. I have to watch the John Wick movies and I have to watch Logan.
Yep, you will enjoy it. Mm-hmm. So, on what was it? Monday? I'm pretty sure they do. Or it was last week. So last week, you know, our friends at Stern finally announced the next game was going to be John Wick. And they didn't say who the designer was, nothing like that. It was just like, keep everybody guessing. So, you know, Stern has been doing this thing where they want to drum up as much hype as possible. So what they do is they do pretty much a week of hype. So the first day, it's just the teaser. You know, you see what the game... the title's gonna be. You might see like when we did what was it?
Jaws?
Foo Fighters and Jaws. It just said Jaws. You know, it just said hunting soon. So you knew, okay, the next game's Jaws or the next game's Foo Fighters. All right, simple. Then the next day they'll show like more clips, but it's like the background and the DMD stuff. They don't actually show the game. And this is where I saw people were already going off. One person that I know that has another podcast, I'm blanking on the guy's name, and I don't want to call anybody out if I say the wrong name, was already like, oh, I guess we're just watching the movie now instead of seeing the game. And it was like, this is what they've been doing for the past how many releases? This whole week of hype. and they're getting mad. And this is like, we're not even getting into the game yet, and also it's like, I'm just like, oh my god, they're starting already with this.
Yeah, and this is where they're known for hyping it. You know, there's going to be a brief trailer of the game. Then there's going to be some gameplay reveals. Then there's going to be some interviews. It's a process. It's to get you excited and to get you at the edge of your seat. So you're like, I can't wait to see this. Then they release when they're going to show something. It's like, I got to mark in my calendar and make sure I'm there to see it. It's kind of marketing 101. What do they do with movies?
Yeah.
Same exact thing. They'll release an image, then a teaser, like all the way back to like the original friggin' Ninja Turtles movie. Yep. It was just the you didn't even see them full body. You just saw, what was it? You
just saw the sewer cap lid pop up, and
you just saw like their eyes, and you knew what it was. That marketing 101.
It's a teaser.
Yeah.
So like, I even wrote like, because like Gerard and I have our thing here on Discord that we write to each other. I put, people are assholes. They forget how Stern operates with game releases, complaining about just showing off movie assets when all they're doing to try to generate hype. One person, like, now this is the day that they showed the game off, right?
Yeah.
This is before all the Bowl of Worms came out. One person thought it wasn't even Keanu Reeves. They thought they had to make it not look like him. So I guess they don't like Randy Martinez's art. Mm-hmm. There you go. So the designer of the game is Elliot Eisman. He's worked with the company for over a decade, and this is his first time as the lead game designer. One of my good friends from the old New York pinball group, Tim Sexton, is working on the rules. Also, former world, I'm pretty sure Josh had a championship under his belt. Josh Henderson is working on the game, who I met him when he was a kid, and he was an absolute animal, and I'm pretty sure he went to college and has like an engineering degree, and they of course hired him for Stern. I wouldn't blame him. Everybody was going on about a price increase. There has not been a price increase. The price is still expensive. They were all going on about Spike 3. This is not a Spike 3 game. This is still using Spike 2. They have a little car bash toy on the Premium LE. George Gomez said in an interview that he designed this car, and it's not meant to be any of the cars from the movie, because that's another thing that they have to get licensed for. It can't be like a certain car that he used. I was very surprised. All three of the games are going to use expression lighting. Unlike with the last game that used expression lighting was Foo Fighters, only the Premium and LE could use it. So here we go. So the game is released. I got to throw out a disclaimer. So we're very positive people, especially about pinball. Mm-hmm. We're coming at this topic positively, and it's more of like a jaw drop and like, oh my God, these people are freaking nuts. And it's should we talk about the game in general first, and then we should go on to the
okay. I thought that's right. Yeah, I thought you were jumping right into it. Yeah.
I was going to jump right into it, but I feel like we should talk about it. So
yeah,
the game to me looks kind of like a basic fan layout. Now, once again, I hate doing these kind of things when we talk about games, pinball machines on an audio style podcast. But it's got that kind of classic, fan layout. Everybody was complaining originally, oh my God, it's going to be a fan layout. It's got the gigantic on the right. It has a gigantic, the case that he bashes open from the first movie is on there. Like I said, there's the car that flips open. There's a left ramp that pretty much feels and looks exactly like the one that was on Foo Fighters. Kind of just like a quick turn, and then it feeds your flipper. Yep. They also have a drop target that goes into a single pop bumper that bounces around. That's the Spiral Dance Club that's in the movie and stuff like that. It's got like the name of the hotel in the movie was the Continental, so it's got a thing that looks like the Continental on there. There's a whole bunch of different characters from all four of the movies. A lot I was surprised at how many they got, because it was one of the things talking to Steve Ritchie about getting all of the actor licenses is just a pain. And I remember him saying to me about Star Trek The Next Generation, he said, yeah, you're never going to see that ever again. With everybody agrees and signs off on it, you know? So the Pro model, it looks like it's lacking the drop target, which I think is really stupid. I liked in the... on Friday, we got to see a video of the gameplay, and it looked like the pop bumper or the drop target pops up, and it'll hold the ball in there, and then you can knock it in there and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So that's not going to be on there. The two things, the car obviously will not be in there. You will bash the car, but it does not come out, and it also won't hold the ball. The case is pretty much just a bash target on there. It doesn't open and close like it does on the Pro, on the Premium and the LE. And then on the left, it has, I'm trying to think, I got to find the name of it. What do they call it? It's like this thing called the blood marker. Now, since Gerard has not seen the movie, so John Wick is all about this guy that used to be pretty much the world's greatest, like, hitman. He's an assassin. And he got out of it. You know, he did like an impossible task, and his wife unfortunately dies. And she buys him a puppy and says, you know, hey, don't forget me. And of course, like throughout the movie, you know, he gets his car stolen. These guys break into his house and they kill his dog. They beat the living crap out of him. And it's just, he's been on revenge for 4 movies because they killed his puppy.
Yep.
And it's got this thing they call it the blood marker. Now, what was really cool watching the thing on the reveal stream, it pops open and it has where what the idea is you prick your finger and use your blood to make a thumbprint, and then the other person has to do the same. And then if you know you pretty much you owe your loyalty to that. So on the Premium and the LE, it flips open and it lights up. On the Pro, it's static and it's just open the entire time. So not really a lot missing. So I think we'll be seeing pretty much a lot on the Pro. The Pros are on the way out of the factory right now. It sounds around June. That they'll start be trickling out more. Because obviously what they do is they do the overseas market first, and then all of the few locations that do operate the games, they want to get those Pros out to people as soon as they can. On the sound, they got Ian McShane doing the voice of was it Winston? So he's your host in the game, and I'm probably going to butcher his last name, but Charlie Benante of Anthrax and Pantera has done, I think, 40 minutes worth of music for the game. So it sounds really, really good. It gives you that kind of like that noir kind of John Wick style music that it's got in it. So, Gerard, what do you think of the game overall? Because I'm pretty sure you did get to watch the stuff over there.
So I'm going to throw in a couple things. The blood marker, they got from Lionsgate one of the actual props from the movie, and 3D scanned it and printed it, and that's what's in the Pro, Premium, and Limited. So it's an exact replica of the movie prop, which is pretty cool, especially for movie nerds. Yep. The gameplay, first of all, you said his name, I completely forgot it. The head designer, head guy,
Elliot.
Yeah, Elliot. During the stream, he's gushing about the movie, about the game. You can tell he loves John Wick. You can tell he loves the movies. And he basically says during the stream that he wants it so that the gameplay, when you play it, it furthers the story and the movie and the scenes. And they have some of the crazy scenes, like some of the car chase scenes and stuff like that, where different clips will play based on what happens. And they kind of have it intermeshed with some CGI that they did of the car. And honestly, I know it was just a stream, but the CGI sometimes was hard to tell from what were movie clips. The CGI was actually pretty darn good, it had some like, the car crashes and stuff like that where you can tell that was created, but it looks almost like something that the studio might have created, not Stern themselves. So I was very impressed with that. The whole gameplay furthers the story and everything. It almost reminds me of like a Laserdisc game like Dragon's Lair, where you have to do actions and you see the rest of the story.
Yep.
Which is cool if you're a big fan of the movie. But what's nice, it also doesn't seem like that interferes with the actual gameplay. It's not. I didn't get a Halloween vibe where it pauses for so long to play like a 30-second video clip, and it's like, oh my god, I want to keep playing.
I love the idea. What they were saying was that depending on how good you do, let's say if you're not doing good and you're not hitting shots, it has clips of him being beaten up.
Yep.
So, and then when you start doing good, it starts showing him offing people the thing. So, like, he just racks up the body count like he does in the movie. So there you go.
And that's what's crazy. That's where when there's certain scenes, and if you're taking out or hitting enemies, like you were saying, it'll play the clip. It'll play it'll show him go around the corner and taking a shot. If you miss, it will show him something, him missing or whatever.
Yeah, or getting punched or something like that. Yeah.
Yep. Which is awesome. And the other thing I noticed, or I'm curious about, they're talking about body blocking and blocking.
Yes, so this is another thing that we're going to have to talk about in more of the controversy thing, because they're using the term artificial intelligence. They're saying AI. Yeah. And everybody's like, I'm not going to have this game in my house if it uses artificial intelligence. They're basically, it's a buzzword. You're using it as a buzzword. So what they're saying is that the game's going to react to what shots you're shooting, and it'll act like, it'll go on there to block your shot. So it doesn't like physically block it. It just will make it, hey, you have to shoot here instead.
Yeah, so there'll be like these two white lights, and it's almost like you have to hit it to get rid of the white lights and take the shot. And sometimes one enemy, the white lights will switch to a different enemy because they can block for other people. So they're really trying to make it like you're John Wick taking out these bad guys. And like in the movies, based on the clips I saw, obviously there's a lot of gun fu and blocking and everything going on. So the way I took the AI, and I was going to ask you about this, I didn't take it as artificial intelligence. I took it as more like some of the classic Konami shmups where if you're playing pretty good, it ramps up the difficulty.
Oh yeah, like the cave shooters, like Ibra, where it gets harder the better that you're doing. So you have to like purposely die, so it sets the difficulty back. No one complained about artificial intelligence.
Yeah, that's how I took it. So the question I had is, I'm curious if it's going to be like for example, Konami's Parodius. I think it's Parodius Gajoku, the one I used to have. If you're doing really good, all of a sudden the enemies are shooting out extra bullets extra fast, so you have to kill yourself before you reach a certain point, so that way the difficulty doesn't ramp up. It stays at a lower level or it drops back down. So I was wondering, is this going to be a case where if it gets too hard, you have to let a ball drain and then it resets? Or is it just like it sounds like you're saying, it sees where you're shooting and it's going to move a block there or move a guy to a different light to move around based on how you're shooting.
We'll see how Eric Stone takes care of that. We know he'll outsmart it, that's for sure.
Which you can get by calling that artificial intelligence, but I mean, it's like, didn't one of the Street Fighter games recently have what they called it at the time, adaptive characters?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's always like it input reads. That's how it used to do it back in '92, and no one complained about artificial intelligence. It reads your inputs, like, it's okay, you're gonna jump, so I'm gonna do an anti-air.
Yep.
Friggin' SNK did that all the time. You could, like, all you have to do, you want to talk about artificial intelligence? Play Art of Fighting 2 on the hardest difficulty.
Yep.
You're welcome. Shut up.
So we'll see if when more information comes out and we see more, that's how it appeared to me the artificial intelligence was working. I was just curious if you could like drain a ball and it will drop down to a lower level or whatnot. But I don't think so, because it seems to just happen in that one mode. And so no matter what your shots are, it's going to adjust. And again, I call it's more like adaptive. It's not thinking. And
oh God, I'm on. Thank you once again to Jason Knapp. I'm on this. Like, there's people that I know and kind of respect that I know in the pinball world, and they're just going like that. So I hope now that more of the information's out, I hope some of these people are changing their tone, but I have no idea, because once again, we didn't even get into the controversy about the game yet. But one of the other things that I thought was cool now, since Gerard, since you have not seen the movie, now this whole, John Wick, it's a whole basically like a society of assassins that they have like their own rules and their own government kind of that they use. There's different factions, and all that's represented in the game. Now, one of the things that they do in the game is like there's these operators. There's all these women. They got all these like tattoos, and they're chain smoking cigarettes, and they're like used to do all the bounties and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So one of the coolest things that they're going to do in this game is they're going to have it set with your Insider connected. You're going to get a text message to let you know if there is a bounty in the game. So there's going to be different stuff using Insider connected for like different quests and stuff like that. So from what they were saying, that they're not going to just like automatically put it out, because not everybody has an opportunity to get to the game to play it. So once the games start getting out and getting into circulation, you'll start getting emails and text message alerts like, hey, go find a John Wick pinball machine. There's a bounty on there. So like that's what they do in the movie, is like every time that John Wick starts just killing, they keep upping the bounty. Like it starts at like $5 million, and then at the end of the thing, I think it's like $50 million to try to kill him,
That's pretty cool. I love what they're doing with Insider Connect. I loved what now they started doing the achievements. I love now they're trying to do like almost like themed achievements, like the new, like the Jaws for May and everything. Mm-hmm. That's really cool. Taking it that one step further, especially with a game like John Wick, getting a text alert like there's a bounty and they need you to collect it, so you have to find that's awesome. That it's kind of what do they call it, like immersion, or it's almost like those old like murder mystery games where you'd sign up, you get a phone call at 3 a.m. and you'd answer the phone and you get your mission or whatever. That's pretty cool.
So they were saying about like Randy Martinez did the art, and this is the first time that pretty much all of the characters have been represented in one thing together. Now, unfortunately, from watching the stream, they did not get all the actors. So the two most important ones for me, the first one is Lawrence Fishburne. Lawrence Fishburne is not in the game. They do mention him because they talk about the Bowery, and his character is the king. So it's a shame that they didn't get him in there. And what I thought was funny, because it's on the limited edition translate, is let me go back because I just screwed up the page. Halle Berry is in the third movie, and she has these two attack dogs that are used in the movie. Really, really cool. She can control them, and it tells them where to kill them and stuff like that. And she sicks the dogs on the people trying to kill her. So unfortunately, Halle Berry is not in the machine, even though she was in the Flintstones all the way back then. So it kind of sucks that those two aren't in there, but it looks like some of the other actors, they got most of the important ones. I have to say, I forget the gentleman's name. Let me get it on Twitter, because when I heard that they were doing a John Wick game, the first person I thought of was the actor that sadly passed away, whose name was, let me get his name, please, was Lance Reddick. Now, Lance Reddick played the concierge at the Continental Hotel, and he just has like he's very tall, he has this imposing figure, and he's like, nobody is that good So I thought like he would have been perfect, but unfortunately he passed away after they finished filming the fourth movie, just very suddenly, to the fact that they didn't even put. Usually they would put in like an in memory of. They didn't even have time to do that for the movie. It was already released, so that's a shame.
Yep.
So, are you ready, Gerard?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. So let's start off with the first thing that people got mad about. So, like we said, Stern is using this to be the hype machine. So Stern decided to invite some social media people to go check out the game first. So there's this one gentleman, I don't know his name, but his website is Kongs or Us, and he has about 12,000 people on his YouTube channel. They invited him out. There was another person that they invited out to play it. So the first thing that people started complaining about was, why are you letting these people come out and play the game? Why aren't you getting... And then they start mentioning off people. They start rattling off people's names. Oh, why didn't you get people in the pinball community? And the instant was, we want to reach out to everybody. You guys are already going to know about it. You guys don't need any more advertising. So these people do other things. That was like while they were using IGN. I don't remember anybody complaining when IGN was doing the previews and stuff like that.
So
did you ever hear that?
I haven't. And you always know an argument is going to go swimmingly well when you start off with these people.
Yes. Like it sounded more like kind of Jerry Seinfeld. Yeah, it's jealousy and who are people? Oh, you should have had this person do it, or you should have had this person do it, or I don't know who this person is. I was just like, it's going out to other people that are going to have more eyes on the machine and stuff like that.
And the one thing that I saw, I believe George Gomez said this in the Stern Pinball Enthusiast thread on Facebook, which was like, oh my God, sitting back eating popcorn watching the insanity.
Oh, yeah.
He mentioned that tons of invites go out. We send them out to everyone. We can't control who's able to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing I'm going to say, exactly like what you were saying. If you want to reach a bigger, broader audience, you have to cater to that audience. You have to get the message out. I'm going to bring in wrestling here. Unfortunately, it's kind of like WWE right now versus AEW right now. AEW's fan base is dwindling because they're just still catering to one group, and it's gotten pretty bad, whereas WWE has since kind of expanded and broadened and has a lot of crap going on, and now their audience is growing insanely. It's you can't just cater to one small niche audience because, one, not every home pinball player buys the new pinball game. There are a few that do, but not everyone, because not everyone has the money. And two, if it's going on location at like a FEC or a general arcade where there's a lot of kids, parents, families, whatever, they're going to want to see it and get hyped up about it. And they're most likely not going to be watching like the Stern gameplay streams.
Yeah, they're not getting the Insider Connected podcast, so they can listen to all this. And it's funny that you mentioned WWE, was that WWE recently did a big show, Backlash, over in France.
Yeah.
And one of the complaints was they didn't have certain people. They always do a media scrum. They complained it wasn't members of the wrestling media. They were complaining that they had regular journalists there. Once again, we want to reach out to everybody, so we felt, they weren't doing it like a slap in the face, and the guy's like, you should apologize to me. It's like, come on, dude. No.
And again, not to turn this into a wrestling podcast, perfect example. So spoilers, if you haven't seen Backlash yet, fast forward 1 minute or 2 minutes. The first match was a street fight. The way they introduced the street fight with the Bloodline and Orton and Kevin Owens just fighting before they even get the ring, and Nick Aldis coming out and saying, if this is what you want, that's it. This is a street fight. I don't care. Go at it. They had the security trying to break them up. turned into a street fight. It was an insanely good street fight, and that's how it gets you hooked, because it's not just like over at AEW, we're gonna have a street fight, Jericho versus Hook, and it ends up just being a mess, because every street fight they have since for a while has been a mess, and there's no reason for it. Mm-hmm. That had a reason, so that's kind of, again, appealing. It's introducing a street fight to a broader audience and people that might buy into the storyline versus giving something that only the hardcore few are going to enjoy.
And they figured they want to do something for people spending $300 minimum on a ticket. Jesus Christ. Let's get into it. Mm-hmm. Now, John Wick is an R-rated movie. It is a movie about an assassin and a world of assassins. So they use firearms and grenade guns and all sorts of weapons. Now, I'm going to go through I think we'll do a timeline instead of having the hindsight, Gerard. Mm-hmm. So people started noticing on the machine, wait a minute, he's got nunchucks in the middle. Why is he holding nunchucks? All of the sides, there's sword fighting and stuff like that. On the Pro, it's him walking, but you don't see his hands. And even the art, like, it doesn't have, like, all the guns being pointed at Keanu Reeves. So everybody started going crazy and saying that, and I hate using the word, but since they decided to use it, they all said, this is John Woke. Oh my God. They're catering to the left, to the Hollywood liberal elite, and they want to censor the gun violence. This is Mickey Mouse game, Disney, they Disney-fied this. How they took and like there's other people, like, I grew up with games with guns. I had Terminator, and I had Cactus Canyon, and I had all these games with guns, and they start bringing up other games. So I'm thinking, like, this had to be a mandate from the movie studio. Yep. And ding, 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 it was.
And not only that, and so then they started blaming Lionsgate for being woke, and then they started blaming Stern, saying if they were going to do that with the license, almost like you shouldn't have taken the license, which is insane.
They said they were in the middle of making the game, and they were like, who do you sell this to? Because I don't think Lionsgate has ever done a pinball machine before, and they didn't know, when they, like, George Gomez has been in the industry for so long, and I'm glad that he's doing all this PR stuff for them. He's just like, you have to do what they tell you to do. When stuff like that comes out. So he said, when they found out, there's no age rating on this, and they're like, that's not going to fly with us. Because they thought, pretty much like anybody can buy this game. Anybody can show this game off. Anybody can have it. So they didn't want anything different on that. And he said pretty much that happened the same thing with James Bond, where even though they were allowed to use the Dr. No, where he's holding the gun, but they couldn't do anything have new art of James Bond pointing a gun or had something to do with the Walter PPK. But they could still use all the original assets and stuff for that. So that's what's going on with this game.
And I just have to throw in the first thing I texted you when you texted me saying that's going on, and I went and read through the threads. First thing that popped in my mind is I didn't know artwork impacts gameplay.
Exactly.
Is not having a gun on the side art or not having a plastic static gun toy going to make the gameplay worse?
So the first thing that George wrote was, hey fellas, the no toy guns thing was a brand mandate, not something we could control. We didn't worry too much about it because there are plenty of guns in the film clip, and we have clips from all 4 of the films. The film was shot in 4K, which makes it look amazing on the display, and the music score is awesome. Get in front of the game, and I promise you'll stop missing the toys or the Terminator 2 gun handles. By the way, I had the same issue on James Bond. Now, I had posted on this, I said, that gets me thinking. Now, people started bringing up other games that have guns, and I went, wait a minute, not Deadpool and not Star Wars. I said, they're blasters. Yeah, they're not guns. So George Gomez writes, this is his comment that he wrote replying to me. and to somebody else. He says, all Bond art had to be based on existing poster art. We could not draw any guns, design a toy around the world through PBK. This is what I meant by similar. On Deadpool, a character known for weapons, all the guns had to be stylized to fantasy blasters and could not resemble real weapons. It is not uncommon for brands to have sensitivity to how guns are portrayed. On Wick, 100% of the art had to be recreated from scratch. Restrictions in brand and product designing are sold as licensing. So right there, he said we could not do those. Like, I was looking at Deadpool, and I was like, yeah, those aren't real guns. Yep. Those, and even in the game, he calls them blasters or weapons. He doesn't say guns. Same thing in Star Wars. They never, pretty much basically in Star Wars from the beginning, they never said gun. They always said blasters.
Yep.
You know, or bowcaster or something like that.
Yeah, fantasy weapons. And again, that's just brand control. And like I said before, does that impact or change the gameplay of the games? No. So I don't understand what the big fuss was. It was just comical to see. And like I also said to you, the majority of these people that are complaining and saying, well, I'm not buying this game. I'm looking at them and I'm looking at their backgrounds and I'm like, it looks like you don't have any pinball games. So
they're just getting into it because it's fun. And it's just it's the internet dogpiling onto everything. I mean, I said, like, no one batted an eye with Deadpool. Now, if they would have brought it out, they would have been calling it woke pool and said, "Oh, you can't use guns." I was just like, no one ever said anything about that. It was just like the aha moment, you know, snap your fingers and you remember. I was like, Deadpool came out in 2017. There was no complaints about the guns because he's shooting them on the screen and stuff like that. But they're blasters, and he even goes, "Blaster, please, give me a blaster," and stuff like that. He doesn't say, "Hey." He doesn't say, "Oh, hey, I can't use my gun. I'm not allowed to. Disney mandated it." You know,
and
they don't.
And the Disney mandate argument thing, I love when people call it like are calling it like Disneyfied and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know. I go on to Disney Plus and I watch It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. All these different shows and
Fox off of Hulu. Yep.
Yeah, because Hulu's now part of Disney Plus. It doesn't say Hulu. It says Disney
And now they're
going
to have HBO later, so they're going to even have even more shit.
Exactly. So don't give me the Disney-fied. It's like when people are worried about Disney destroying Deadpool. Based on that trailer, it doesn't look like they're destroying Deadpool.
It just said, do whatever the hell you want.
Just keep it like Disney's always done. They've always, one company have a separate brand, create Touchstone Pictures or Buena Vista, blah, blah, blah. And then you can have the racier stuff under that brand. Just don't have the Disney name on it.
Yeah, because it instantly became apples and oranges. Everybody was comparing other games. Everybody was talking about Pulp Fiction and Cactus Canyon because those all have guns all over it. I mean, even Cactus Canyon has the 6-shooters on the frickin' apron. And they're all and they're like, I've even heard people complaining about certain of those games with guns. They don't want them. Yeah. I remember, like, when Terminator 3 came out, they actually had it that you could buy the machine and have it with a button shooter instead of the gun shooter. It's like, even like on NASCAR. NASCAR had it where you could get a separate translite that didn't have the Miller Lite logo on it. It said for sensitive locations.
Oh my God. No. Tapper.
Yeah, root beer Tapper. They had to make a separate game. Zeke's Peak and Ice Cold Beer. They actually had to make separate games. Where was the outcry for that? You say, you came out with Zeke's Peak. Oh my God. Tato's woke. Yep. Midway's woke. This was back
in 1981 or whatever.
Yeah, this was 50 years. This was almost 40 plus years ago.
Yeah,
they were woke then. Holy crap! And I hate using that word, but I feel like you got to use it against these people. I'm getting, I thought, I looked at the game and I said, kind of looks like a basic fan layout. It doesn't really look like any John Wickish to me. And I was just like, this is the one game that I would definitely have. I feel like it does impact it for it because I would have loved to have had a gun shooter rod rather than a regular shoot-a-rod, but you kind of limit your choices for your skill shots on that and stuff like that. But just this whole further, all this bullshit all around it. That's why I just said this is exhausting, because this has happened for every game. Everybody was complaining about the shark not eating the ball. Everybody was complaining about they didn't like Venom because it was, once again, it was a fan layout, and they didn't like the Insider Connected. They were complaining about Foo Fighters. I don't listen to that band and stuff like that. They complained about Elton John. They don't like Elton John and stuff like. They don't like ABBA. They don't like.
So it's crazy. So for some of your examples, I finally played the Jaws Premium, and the way the shark comes out, the angle, the speed, and the way it goes back down, the noise when you hit it and bash it. I wouldn't want it to swallow the ball after playing it. That would interrupt the gameplay. It works so well the way it's there. Foo Fighters, I'm not a fan of the band. One or two songs, that's about it. But the game looked interesting. I play it. I love that game. Not a fan of the music, but I love the gameplay. I like the band mates. I love Dave Grohl. I love his general attitude and how much fun they had with that theme.
Oh, yeah. They're having a great time.
Just play the game, and if it's fun, it's almost like, I even text you this, it's like a repeat of the console wars.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, you have a Super Nintendo, so Super Nintendo is the best system. Sega sucks. Genesis is bad. You have the other person has Sega. No, Sega's the best. And then arguing. It's like, just play the game.
TurboGrafx, yay!
Yeah, just play the game. Neo Geo AES. Just play the games. Just play the games. Who cares?
My parents were in a divorce. I have a Neo Geo. Yay. $300 a game.
Yeah.
And I'm like, so, like, even George Gomez just said, we're going to have a plastic, we're going to put it in the goodie bag, and it's 4 screws, and you take it off, and it's going to look like the what's inside the crate in the movie. It's going to have guns in it. He said they allowed us to do that. They said it's going to be for the location, and that's the only piece of art that we could take off. So if you're in a location that can't, and he even said, like, we're probably going to have to go through the movie, like, they showed the movie clips, were all unedited. Like, there's one girl, I forget the character's name. She's one of the villains in the movie. She literally cannot speak, so she basically just flips John off like that. So they said, yeah, we are going to have a family mode. We're going to have we're going to have to take out a lot of the stuff so it can be for all ages. I mean, they had the same thing with every game has like a family mode on it. Like, they complained about Deadpool. Somebody said that they didn't like that. He said, "Step up, Mr. Badass," like that. He who has the most weapons is a badass. They had to take that out. Even though Disney agreed. They said, yeah, you can say that. It's Deadpool. Yeah, you can say that's the character. Okay, say badass. But
it's mind-numbing. It's just play the game and judge the game on that. Again, it's not like Stern showed this awesome, crazy toy and they can't put it in because of a mandate. That would be a little different to get upset. It's the artwork. Since when has the artwork ever added to the gameplay? We used to talk about that period of Stern where everything just looked like Photoshop clips from a movie, still shots from a movie. We would say how much we loved the game, but the playfield just looks awful. It looks like a 12-year-old with Photoshop designed it.
Yeah, you go back from Avengers Infinity Quest to the old Avengers where they were using just the stock art. I remember I was with my mom at a like a Joann's Fabrics and Crafts, and I saw they had the wall decals, and I started laughing, and she's like, "What are you laughing?" I said, "This is the exact same art that they used in the friggin' in the pinball machine." I said, "They literally told this is what you got to use. This is what the company mandates. You have to use this art." So I'm glad now that a lot of companies are like, "Okay, yeah, as long as it gets." Everything has to get approved by the licensor and by the actors and stuff like that. I mean, I hate it that, this is what I hate about John Wick. It's kind of like, it looks like a basic layout. I don't like that Lawrence Fishburne and Halle Berry aren't in it. I really wish they would have had Keanu Reeves do a couple of lines in it, but, hey. You got Ian McShane, and Ian McShane is freaking awesome, and I'm glad they got him in there to do it. So it's just like you take the good with the bad. You can't have everything. It's not. I don't think you're ever going to get that.
Yep. And I do have to say, I was not a fan hearing about the fan layout. I'm definitely a lot more interested in playing the game after watching the stream of the gameplay.
Oh yeah, the friggin' the what was it? The outlanes and stuff like that. The orbits were like silky smooth on it. It looked like it was. Yep. They said, he goes, guys, we've been having the most fun playing this game. Said, this is his first game, and that's the thing that I feel bad for is Elliot. I mean, this is his very first game out. Unfortunately, I haven't even seen him do any other interviews other than the Insider podcast that I haven't had a chance to listen to. But like, you're excited. You come out with your first game, and then they come out with this weird thing that. Like, even George Gomez talked about it. He goes, yeah, Lionsgate, they came up to us like, yeah, they don't want any guns. I was like, what the hell are we supposed to do now?
But meanwhile, when you go into one of the modes and you have to shoot the guys that are going after John Wick, and you have to hit the targets with the balls that represents the guys, and if you hit it and you hit it at the right time, you see John Wick going through his house in the one scene, whip around the corner and making headshots. I mean, It looks like a lot of fun. The quote-unquote AI, which is more like adaptive, we're going to call it, when the body blocking and the blocking switches, that looks pretty cool. That looks like a very fun game.
I look forward to seeing what it's going to be like when it comes out, because once again, I think it was a lot of people that just got on the bandwagon. I mean, like, there's somebody in chat, like, on one of the other things that it's like a known pinball player. And I don't think I've met him yet, but I feel you're like, oh, that guy's a cool dude. But it was just like, I mean, it's like right away. It went from all the people it went from the influencers that, how dare you do this? How dare they didn't get this person that I like to do it?
And oh my God, you have to wait a week for the actual gameplay stream. Then you can really see what it's like. Mind them. They want to reach a big audience. They want to broaden. They want to grow, and they have to follow licensing. And again, a static plastic toy and side art does not make a game fun.
Now, what's fun about this was that on the Flippin' Out guys, Joel Engelberg did an interview with George Gomez. And one of the things he asked him about was, he said, hey, ask me whatever you want. If there's something that I can't answer, I'll just say, hey, I can't answer that. That's something going on. So he asked him point blank, have you ever dealt with a licensor that has ever told that has been too hard and you weren't able to do it? And he said yes. And the game was going to be the Hunger Games. They said there was too many restrictions, and they said they were almost halfway in the middle of this game, and they just said, you know what, guys, we're just going to stand away. We can't do this. So there has been other games. I'm surprised, talking with, Steve Ritchie, it sounded like James Bond was going the same way as well, because they had to put so many things that were restrictive on it and stuff like that. Now, one of the other cool things, I hate to just kind of pick and choose what was said on other podcasts with George Gomez, but what I loved was that he said that the speaker lighting kits, they're going to have that as an OEM. So you're going to be able to buy that. You're going to get that for Jaws, and you're going to get that for John Wick. That can be put on the premium and the pro models. And they said they will do it for Jaws, so it'll have all that functionality in there and stuff like that. So that's going to be really cool. They talked about the topper, of course, is coming out there. He's talked about having... they are working on Spike 3, and it's going to have a cabinet redesign. So that's what they've been saying, that there is a brand new Spike system board and a new cabinet redesign. He said the Spike 3 is going to have a lot more power to do more stuff that they've wanted to do with Spike 2. I guess they're kind of in growing pains of what they can't do on Spike 2. Because, I mean, Spike 2 was, 2016? Or something like that, with friggin' Batman 66 was the first one that used the Spike 2 board. So, it's getting up there in age. And one of the things I was glad, they said Ray Day is getting his shot to be a lead designer, so I can't wait for Raymond Davidson to get on a game. He was saying, like, given all this is what I've been hearing all the time, like Gerard and I were talking off before we started, all the flack that people have given Venom. They know, and I know, about how much money this game makes on location. Because, once again, it kind of feels like, I hate to say it, like, this isn't for you. But he even said, he goes, we can use the insider data And we know that Venom is like with Stranger Things, they're like really insanely popular on location. So it might not be popular in your house because you can get up to level 50 on your first gameplay, but regular people that are showing up, they think this is a cool idea.
Yeah, so perfect example. I've played it a few times. I've tried to give it a chance. Not into it. Not my type of game.
We're pinball people, so we're not into it.
one of my friends played it, and he loved it. He lost it when Venom does a call out. Was it, "Hey, your mom called. She's disappointed in you." He lost it at that. He's like, I love this game. This is a blast. And it's like, good. It's okay to like something and not like something.
One of the other things he was saying about everybody wants to do remakes. So they asked about Lord of the Rings. He said that was three generations before that was on the White Star. He said Ghostbusters and Tron might be doable. He would love to have another Tron machine because obviously he worked on the original Tron arcade game at Bally Midway, so that's something that he would love to see back. So I hope they get their wish if this new Tron movie ends up being really good, because we are getting Jeff Bridges back, but unfortunately we're getting Jared Leto, so hopefully he doesn't go weird and think that I'm the computer man, talk to me. And he starts emailing or sending death threats and dead animals to his to his coworkers because he was trying to get into character. So I'd like to cap it off by just saying, with a very famous other YouTuber I love and respect, Mr. J. Bauman from Red Letter Media, thanks for making the world an embarrassing nightmare, everybody. You guys are just really showing off your true colors. It's so sad. I mean, when it gets out there, just play the game. Let's judge it on its own merits. Like I said, Gerard was saying in the beginning, we want to be positive, folks. Like I said, it takes a village to make these things. It's a labor of love. It is kind of upsetting that there are certain things in there. I mean, Lionsgate should have thought about this, that, everybody plays pinball and it's everywhere. But obviously, it all comes down to you. It comes down to your choice. Now, if you're a parent, it's the same thing that George Gomez was saying. If you notice, like, hey, this game's got a lot of violence in it. Hey, it's a John Wick pinball machine based off an R-rated movie. Yeah. Maybe you won't want little Timmy playing it, even with the...
I was going to say, and if you're running an FEC and you have like a kid area, maybe don't put the John Wick pinball in the kid area. Maybe put it by the bar where the alcohol is.
And guess what? There's tons of other games out there, because it was like what we were saying in the previous episode about how, when they came out with the the barbecue game, about how many games are out there now that scratch everybody's itch. We got music, we got every kind of music game. We got stuff from the 90s. We got Foo Fighters. We just got ABBA coming out. We got the 70s, and then you got Elton John, who's been around for 40 years. So we got all your music covered. We've got your classic movies. We got Jurassic Park. We've got Jaws. We got new movies. We got, Guardians of the Galaxy. We got stuff that's family friendly and stuff like that, Stuff that's freaking weird. Like, what is it? The
Galactic Space Tank.
Galactic Tank Force. Thank you very much.
Keep calling it Space Tank, Galactic Tank Force.
I just think that I was watching a stream of it again, and I was this close. Like, thank God I wasn't live. I was like, whose idea was it to have it with the fucking dubstep music? Because that would have used that's like, I'm thinking like Attack from Mars with like the that's what they should have used for that. It should have been like this kind of heroic thing, but then like you're playing it's got the tank going I was like, what the frig is that? And it's supposed to be like a 50s like B movie. It's like, this doesn't go with the theme.
You have like Daft Punk going along with the cheesy Saw of the Moments video, trying to make fun of 50s stuff with alien sci-fi and kidnapping cows because of ice cream, and it's like,
and packing fudge and all this other like juvenile garbage humor.
It makes no sense.
I wonder how many pulled pork references they're making in the barbecue game. Jesus Christ. But like I said, it's for everybody. Now, they could have went better with it, and everybody else could have went better with it with how, I spiked the volume on the mic. I apologize for that. But it's just like, I can't stand the internet. It used to be so much fun. Mm-hmm. I remember when AOL was pay by the hour and everybody would decide like, hey, let's get together. Thursday night at 8:00, we'll talk about the new episode of the show. All right, we'll talk about it. Oh boy, great. And now it's just like, it's just a nightmare.
It's turning into what the classic gaming scene turned into, what was it, 15 years ago? Yeah. 10 years ago, where all of a sudden it became very negative. It became very just bashing each other, bashing one another, and just turned into a shit show.
The whole Gamergate bullshit.
Yep.
I was just like, do what I do. I just muted all those people. I muted both sides. It was the same thing during when the Paul Feig Ghostbusters came out. I just muted everything. I loved all the news about all the crap that was going on between Sony because that was a train wreck, and it was just like I couldn't look away from that. That was funny as hell. And I ended up following one of those sites on YouTube. I remember it clearly because they were going on about more of the Inside Hollywood thing. And then they started going the whole right-wing woke bullshit angle. And I was like, fuck these guys, I'm out of here. And a lot of people did the same thing, but that's what they try to do. They try to breed on controversy. And it's such a shame because there was people that I'm friends with that I kind of thought I respected. And they're going out there and they're just doing this crap for negativity, like 4 and 5 videos at a time. And like tons of like podcast crap. And it's just garbage. Just let's judge the game on its own merit. If you don't like it, you don't have to play it. There's plenty of other great games to play. I mean, I don't have room for it. Like Gerard said, he has not gotten to see the movies. I've seen all 4 movies. I really think of my dad about it because we went to see the first 3 before my father passed away, and I know that he would love this game too. I said, hey Dad, they're making a John Wick game, he would love that. Mm-hmm. And I think he would like it a lot better than friggin' Led Zeppelin was, and that was his favorite band. So let's judge it on its own merits. Yep. We'll talk about it when it starts trickling out there. I don't know about obviously the Tycoon arcade up by you is definitely going to get it.
And I have so many places now that get the newer games, so it's no longer a drought in New Hampshire.
Yep.
And I'm sometimes playing the newer games before you.
Yeah,
which never happens.
I still haven't gotten to play friggin' Labyrinth yet. So there you go. But hopefully we will get to go to. I still have to do. This whole week a monkey got thrown in my wrench, so I didn't get to do what I wanted to do this weekend, where I was just going to start buying all the stuff for the expo. So yeah, I get that ready. I got to get my flight and all the hotel and all the other bullshit ready because I really want to go. It's the 40th anniversary. I would definitely love to be there, so we got to go check it out. So, yep. Gerard, do you want to end with anything else?
Nope, just play like we've been reiterating throughout this whole episode. Play the game and judge it based on that. Artwork and static toys do not make a game.
Yeah. Everybody's like, I'm going to put a gun here. I'm going to put a gun there. I'm going to put a gun everywhere. I'm changing the backlight. I was like, go ahead.
Enjoy it.
Knock yourself out. Enjoy it. It'll be the all gun edition. Get like most people don't. They put it in a row. They don't even see what's on the side of the machine. They don't even care. So
and half the times these third market companies make toys and add-ons, unlicensed toys and add-ons that are awesome, and you can really dress up a pro to make it look almost like a limited. So most of the people that most of the people that would buy this game for home use, they tend to be because those are the main people complaining about it. They tend to be the people that would most likely upgrade it, buy the saucers for Godzilla and stuff like that, buy the new pin blades. There's going to be that stuff's going to come out. That stuff's going to be sold by different companies. You could always add it after. Stern just can't do it. That's why it's mind numbing just mind numbing how. And again, the trend for social media is to try to be controversial or try to be salacious or try to be negative. A lot. it seems like there's two types of videos. There's the calm videos that are very popular, and there's the crazy negative videos that are very popular, and the WTF videos and posts, and that's all they're doing.
Like I've said, just what I try to do, just block that negativity, block all that crap out of your life. If you have those people that were getting in on it, that were going all crazy for it, just, don't follow them anymore. Just get rid of it. Just
silence them.
And you know what? Tell them, like, hey, you're better than this. Just let's be. Here's the whole thing, everybody. Be better.
Yeah.
Let's all be better. We're going on about an $8,000 box of lights and metal, and we're fighting in the trenches like we're in the freaking goddamn Civil War. It's supposed to be. I always like to use. I gotta get the friggin' clip of this, and I gotta keep it. It's from the movie The Wizard with Fred Savage when they're getting chased by the child service dude.
Yep.
That's chasing them down, and they're on the King Kong ride, and all the people are going crazy, and the guy that's doing the tour guide yells, sit down and have fun, damn it. So that's how I feel. We just feel like that tour guide. Just sit down, have fun, damn it. Play the game.
There's more important shit to really worry about. Get
so
worked up about. Not
there's
a freaking
so many
game.
things wrong in this world that we all know about. We don't want to talk about it because we're an entertainment pinball podcast, and I don't want to talk about that because you can just go on a million other things, whatever side of the table that you're on. I don't give a rat's butt. George Carlin said it the best 35 years ago. It'll always go that way. I'm not going to repeat it, but hey, there you go. I don't want to get political with this stupid thing, but apparently that's what everybody has to do when we're talking about a $10,000, $8,000, $9,000 box of lights. But there you go. So, Gerard, do you want to end it off with anything else?
Nope. Just we'll probably have another episode towards the end of May. Mm-hmm. A normal episode. We're going to start categorizing episodes. Yep. So this is a news one. We'll have one with a theme. We'll still do the occasional if there's any big updates, but for big news topics, we'll focus strictly on news and our opinions and thoughts.
Absolutely. So once again, I am Nick from the Arcade Hunters. This is my friend Gerard. As always, find us on all of your favorite social media sites. Just started one over on Threads, over on Facebook. I've been very surprised with that getting a lot of likes. I only posted one thing on it so far, and I'm pretty sure you can just cross-post from Instagram on there. Very surprised with how that was taken off. I mean, we're on Blue Sky, and I don't think anybody gives a rat's ass about Blue Sky. Like, Twitter's such a friggin' mind drone of a friggin' hellscape, but there's still people on there watching us. So, if you're watching this on YouTube all the way to the end, thank you very much. Like and subscribe. Do all that crap that YouTube tells you. Feed the algorithm. Confuse the shit out of people. So, once again, Nick from the Arcade Hunters with Gerard signing off. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you guys later.
See ya.